Picture a time in the future when not only America but also 13 other countries begin to fall into great darkness. It is not only a time of confusion but also fear, when people feel as if everything around them is being swallowed by despair. The land and the people seem heavy with sorrow, as if the very air itself carries shadows that press down on their hearts. In this vision, the world does not look bright or full of hope. Instead, it feels as though the path ahead is closing, and the future of nations is being pulled into the depths of something that looks like hell itself. People in these places lose their peace, and everywhere you look, there is uncertainty, suffering, and an overwhelming sense of loss. If this story touched your heart, or made you think about the times we are living in, I would love to hear your thoughts. Share in the comments what you feel about this message and how you see the future of faith in our world. Your voice matters, and your reflections might inspire someone else who is watching. It was a simple afternoon, one of those quiet moments that Father Jim Blount often liked to spend walking through the park. He usually went there to clear his thoughts, to breathe, and to reflect on his prayers. The day appeared calm, with a soft breeze carrying the voices of nature across the path. Birds sang gently, leaves moved above his head, and everything seemed wrapped in peace. He felt comfort in that stillness, not knowing that his life was about to change with something far greater than he could understand. As he walked slowly, his thoughts stayed close to his faith. He thought of the many struggles the church was facing and the weight of the souls he served. He wanted answers, light, and some guidance from God in the middle of his walk. But all at once, the peaceful air around him shifted. He felt something that was not of this world, a presence that was strong but also tender. Suddenly, a brilliant light began to grow in front of him. It was brighter than the sun, but it did not harm his eyes. Instead, it surrounded him in warmth, almost like a loving embrace that held him safe. He stopped in awe, unable to move, because in the middle of this light stood a figure he knew at once. It was Our Lady, shining with both grace and power. Her beauty and presence were not of this earth. She gave peace, but at the same time, her face carried a seriousness that made his heart heavy. Without a word, he already knew she carried a message for him, something that was not just for his soul but for the world itself. Time seemed to stop as he looked at her. His heart trembled as if it carried the weight of all heaven and earth. She revealed something to him in silence, a vision that opened before his eyes. What he saw was America, not as it was now, but as it would be in the future. And it was not only America. 13 other nations appeared, and all of them were falling into a dark storm. He saw shadows covering these lands, swallowing cities, people, and hope itself. It was not just suffering, it was hell itself rising up to claim them. The sight shook him deeply. He saw entire nations turning into emptiness, people dragged down into a pit of sorrow, families broken apart, souls pulled away from the light forever. It was as if life had been stripped from them and replaced with despair. The grief of what he was seeing pierced him, but then, in the darkness, he noticed something different. There were Catholics, small groups of them, scattered within the storm. They were not like the others. There was something placed upon them, not something that the human eye could see, but a sign that came from God Himself. It was a mark, not drawn by hand but given by mercy. This mark separated them from the rest, protecting them from the same fall into eternal death. Though the same darkness surrounded them, it could not take them. The mark was like a shield, keeping them safe for heaven. Father Blount knew at once this was more than a symbol. It was a promise, a seal of salvation that no darkness could break. Those who carried it would be lifted into heaven, while the rest fell away. Our Lady stood with him as he watched this vision unfold, her silent presence guiding him, telling him that what he was seeing was both a warning and a hope. The warning was clear: many would lose themselves, nations would fall, and hell would open wide. But the hope was also clear: God's mercy would not abandon those who remained true. The faithful, the ones who kept their devotion, would be saved by His grace. When the vision ended, the park returned to its calm silence. The trees whispered in the wind, the birds sang again, and everything appeared normal, yet for Father Blount, nothing was normal anymore. He carried the weight of what had been shown to him. His heart knew that this message was not his to keep, but one to be shared with the faithful. In the days that followed, he began to speak about it. He told of America and 13 other nations falling into the jaws of hell, but also of the shining mercy that would mark Catholics with a seal of salvation. He explained that this mark was not of human making, but given by God to those who trusted, prayed, and lived in faith. His words became a reminder that faith could never be abandoned, especially in times of trial. He called people to prayer, to devotion, to a stronger trust in God, because only those who stayed faithful would carry this unseen mark that would open heaven to them. The story spread, and Catholics who heard it felt both shaken and comforted. They knew the darkness would come, but they also knew God's mercy would protect His people. Father Blount carried this message with great seriousness, urging others never to let go of their faith, no matter how heavy the trials ahead. He knew now that the mark of God's grace, though invisible, was the greatest treasure a soul could ever hold. I want to take a moment to thank all of you, my dear viewers. Your time, your support, and the way you keep coming back truly means so much. Every view, every like, every comment, and even just quietly watching it all helps to keep this channel alive and moving forward. Without you, none of this would have meaning. You are the reason the stories are told, the messages are shared, and the light keeps shining here. From my heart, thank you for being part of this journey. I hope you will continue walking with me, sharing your thoughts, and helping this channel grow stronger each day. Your presence is the biggest blessing.